Just how much will we allow our own perceptions of our reality to create false narratives? These narratives that plague who we aim to be. Life isn't as complex as we make it. I feel like many things are the way that they are, and that which is subject to change is altered by our projection. We must make large of the person we wish to be, so as to disallow our anxiety to cloud the skies of our judgment. To be present is to don glasses clear enough to see what's in front of you. I feel like oftentimes when we lack, awareness and we fail to be present with ourselves, we fail to see what we can be. And I said, make large of yourself, or more, make large of your future self in a way. I feel like positing faith in who you want to be. That's what making large of your future self is. Being able to separate yourself from sort of the present in the sense that, you're not looking at exactly what you are right now. More so, you're realizing that who you are in any moment is characteristic of how you perceive yourself, how you want yourself to be at the very end of the day. So the more we posit, that truth and security into those parts of ourselves that we want to grow, those parts of ourselves that we wish to develop into this better version of ourselves, the closer we become to that same. To be aware of your own light in a way is to allow yourself to change, allowing yourself to grow on a level that's, a little different than regular life experiences. It's like being able to sit down with yourself and actually feel like yourself for a change. I don't know what's been going on, but recently I've been feeling a lot more like myself. I've been sort of tapped in with my routine in terms of my writing, my uploading, my meditation, and whatnot. And I feel like most of it is positing yourself into yourself in a way. Like I have a image in mind, a feeling in mind of who I want to become and how I feel, and I just hold on to that feeling enough to the extent that it becomes who I am on a day-to-day basis. And that's what I mean by making large of your future self. You know, putting more life into the reality that you wish to actually live and exist in, instead of putting it into the reality of which that we want to neglect or reject in a way. I feel like there's a lot of things in life that we want to step away from. A lot of things that don't necessarily serve us, and that's why we step away from them for a good reason. But the longer we allow ourselves to be within, you know, that sort of fractured reality, the more we become less whole. Neglect of all we experience, neglect of self, and admiration of ignorance is all we must rid ourselves of. I feel like love, you know, love who you are with all the fibers of your soul. Like fall in love with all sides of who you are. It does you no good to live in a part of this grand whole life situation, ignorant of what's clouding you. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times we cloud our own judgments and block our own blessings without knowing. Block our own blessings by not having enough faith in ourselves or not displaying enough premature gratitude towards what we want to achieve and obtain. And what I mean by this is, you know, I feel like emotions have a lot of energy to them. And I feel like what we put our attention and energy towards, that's what we end up attracting to ourselves. Negative people tend to have negative experiences, or they need to more so focus on it, or it becomes more ingrained into who they are because of how their brain functions. You know, how they adopt those negative instances and circumstances onto who they are. Now, when you're positive and you're positing so much love and positivity into yourself, your experiences will be characteristics of that positivity. Clouding our own judgment or clouding our own observation of ourselves through ignorance. And not direct ignorance, like not knowing who you are, but not knowing enough about who you want to become. I feel like half the battle is having a clear image in mind of what you wish to achieve, what you're trying to get to. It's one thing to have a journey, but it's one thing to not know anything about your destination. I always say that he who thinks the journey is over is the one that's truly lost. But that doesn't mean you should know where you're going, in a way. I feel like the constant battle with self-improvement and becoming a better person, it is about knowing where you want to go and taking the steps to get there. But realizing as you're taking the steps to get there and getting better, your goal just gets a little bit further because you have to get a little bit and a little bit better. I feel like that's all we can do. Instantiate so much faith within who we can be. And I feel like I was talking to my friends about this the other day. That self-limiting sort of mentality that a lot of us have, especially when it pertains to our own creative expression and our expression of who we are. I have a lot of friends who make music, produce, whatever, and I feel like they don't put this stuff out enough because they're amazing. They definitely could be people. Not that they're not already people, but they could make themselves into a personality in a way. Make themselves wealthy off of their own passions and whatnot. And I feel like half of that is the young adult failing to realize it, that they have all the possibility of anybody else their age. A lot of people who are on the come up, a lot of people who are considered, fire, like an artist that we always talk about, like it's Pink Panthers or, Kai Cenat. Because they're all around our age or they're like just a little bit older than us. And I feel like anybody has the potential, like right here and now, and it's about positing yourself within that, bringing your future self to your present, bringing who you want to be in the future to the present moment here. Putting yourself out there in a way, posting your snippets, posting whatever you need to post in order to, gain the traction you need in order to take the steps to be who you want to be. Have enough faith in your future self. Have enough faith in yourself that your goal is, actually what you desire. Enough to take the necessary steps and, be a little courageous in a sense, because it's not easy to put yourself out there all the time. It's really not. But that's not what it's about. You have to sort of be goal oriented as it pertains to, your own aspirations. You can't really be focused on, all the noise around you, but then again, like the fool is negligent of all the movement around him. But that's not to say that, just because things are mobile in your vicinity means that you have to stop yourself, It's about continuing to move and moving around your obstacles, growing and not being closed-minded enough to think that, it's just you, but being open and minded enough at the same time to know that your experience is your own. So it's yours to cultivate, yours to benefit from. I said this in my last video that, somebody can't get your blessings for you. They can't live your life for you. They can't realize your potential for you. So at the end of the day, it's about, becoming one with who you want to be. Becoming one with sort of yourself.